Hawks last season where she'd had Achilles and calf issues over a period of time. It's something she had to endure during her junior career as well. So they're certainly treating one of their acquisitions with real kid gloves. There's been some better signs from the Suns in the past week or so. A 3-point loss to Collingwood on AFL Grand Final Eve, and they were competitive against the Hawks at Kinetic Stadium.
Well, yes, they really were. What they did was they played a little bit skinnier with their ball movement, which meant they didn't get scored against too heavily as they had been in the past. So look to see that today.
The Suns playing their 4th game in 15 days. It's 4 in 14 for the Bombers, and it's been a stretch that's been bookended by road trips. 2 wins in Melbourne. Of course, the trip to Adelaide a fortnight ago brought a loss, but with victory this afternoon, Essendon can find themselves back in the AFLW top 8 at the end of week 6. And don't they get a handy player back in?
Oh, I'm so excited to watch this player play. Bonnie Toogood. She had an MCL injury in round 1, and I overcame that during the preseason. It's a really difficult injury to overcome, about 6 to 8 weeks, and she's done it in 5. So credit to Bonnie and all the phys prep staff. You can see her there doing her warm-ups. She's got that knee heavily strapped, and that'll be protecting a lot of movement that she'll expect today during the match.
Jackie Vott, the omission. So injured August 31 in the first game of the season for the Bombers against Fremantle. To make her way back on October 6, there's a little bit of risk. So explain to us what that tape will do in regards to her movement this afternoon and what it's trying to offset and protect.
Yeah, well, it'll definitely play a bit of a mental game for Bonnie today. It'll be making sure that knee is nice and stable when changing direction. It'll be really interesting to see how she goes in this first term, because coming back from injury, it's always hard to make sure that you've got your match fitness there, Nige.
What it means for her movement and her leading patterns and how she's defended by the Suns will be an interesting watch. Pretty handy player tossing the coin from a forward perspective for the Suns in Tara Bahana, their leading goal kicker in club history with 40 majors. So the outs for the Suns, they lose Wallace Randall to a hamstring injury, and Alice Smith was omitted with Barwick and Lynch coming back into the side. So high-stakes stuff, to say the least, given the Bombers have had a stuttering start to the season. They lowered their colours to the Saints in week 3 at home. Off the back of that, of course, the defeat to the Crows, but they've been better in the past couple of weeks with that thumping victory over the D's and then victory over the Swans on Wednesday night. Great to have Courtney Hancock part of the coverage again, boundary side, in resplendent southern Queensland conditions.
Yes, welcome everyone to the Gold Coast People's First Stadium. And talking about the Gold Coast at the moment, the weather is absolutely putting it on. It's a northwesterly, 22 kilometres per hour here. You probably can't see it at the moment because the humidity is very hot at the moment. We are sitting at 32 degrees at the moment. So saying that, you'd think it's going to suit the Gold Coast Suns out there at the moment. I saw both teams out there doing their warm-up, and they actually both look like they need a little bit of a swim in the ocean. So both sides playing on Wednesday. You know that this week they would have had to do a lot of recovery, a lot of ice baths, really look after their travel. So for me, looking at this game, it's definitely going to come down to those teams that can really look after that sun, the heat, and also that recovery.
Thanks, Courtney. So rotations and how players' game time is managed, especially when the Bombers have got Bonnie Toogood coming off no football in 5 weeks, will be a watch today, Liv.
Yeah, it's absolutely pivotal that they get that right today, particularly in the hot conditions.
Underway at People's First Stadium, Bella and Wales in the ruck, Rowbottom with the opening clearance, and the Suns will try and get out the front and in a hurry. Keeney against her former side this afternoon, closes down the space on Georgia Clayton. It'll be Single, who you imagine is going to have responsibility for one of the Bombers' better mids, with the opening entry inside forward 50. Stanton perhaps had claims on a little bit of a push. Morecambe, Nan, Scorn stepped into the traffic and then handballed to the grass. Keeney looking and finding Georgia Clark, who was rotated in the Single tackle. Are you expecting Lucy Single to play a pure lockdown role or perhaps be given a little bit of offensive licence?
I'd be looking for that early on in the match. It depends whether Maddie Pusbakis gets off on the leash, then they might look to put Single on her as a full-time tag.
Lucy Single's late 3 tackles inside the opening 90 seconds of the contest. It is very much a core component of her game. She's in the top 5 in the league for contested possessions. She wins the ball here. Bombers have got numbers. Clayton's kick smothered by Wales. In fighting for it is Barwick, who you can see has got strip of tape across her nose to protect that on both sides after that, of course, was injured in the Week 5 matchup against the Pies a bare 9 days ago. Barwick in the fray with a tackle, but it's an infringement on Maddie Prasparkas.
It actually looks like Barwick's going to Maddie Prasparkas' early at stoppages, so one to watch there.
Prasparkas spaces it for Kane, who's got plenty of green grass in front. Bombers inside 50 for the first time today. And Paige Scott, they wore heavy contact to that right quad late in the game against Sydney on Wednesday night. Fit enough to take their place and close enough to get the trip. But unfortunately, the compass was offline and Gold Coast will try and rebound for the first time today.
Paige Scott is an incredibly important player for Essendon, and it's so important that Gold Coast Suns stop that linking ability that Paige is able to do from midfield to the forward line. 12
marks in the last 2 games for Scott. Wales v Bella down the line. Keeney, a throw in no uncertain terms. Suns fans knew it too. Manscorn heads centrally. Bombers need to instrument a ground game. Gay kept it alive. Morecambe will fly it back inside 50. It's knocked away from Gamble, who's going to remain forward with Bonnie Toogood back into the team. And hasn't that been a move? Elise Gamble, 9 kicks for 5 goals for the season. She had 1 in her previous 40.
Well, she played that role at the Western Bulldogs back a few years ago, so she knows it very well, and she's done it incredibly well when Bonnie Toogood hasn't been around.
Bombers looking for a 3rd repeat entry. Gaylor with Dupay to deal with. Dupay won the day, looks for single, right in the midst of Keeney again. What are you looking for from the Suns beyond effort, which Cameron Joyce has certainly celebrated in their past 2 matches?
I think the Suns' pressure and contest is really important, so they're doing that well early, getting around, getting to the tackles.
Bombers chain it away from the stoppage. Prasparkas time space. It makes her deadly. To the back for Scott. Will trap, look to snap, wriggle free. No, she won't. No, they won't. It's well claimed on the last line. Scott goes again, will snap. Landed into the hands of Gamble, who's fumbly.
Charlotte Wilson, well done. 1-on-1 there with Paige Scott. Got the fist in, got 2 tackles in. Couple of repeat efforts to stop that goal. That's a magnificent defensive set there.
Gervin was tracking Gamble, who goes to the contest, so Essendon might have a spare here somewhere. Kane, body on body, wins it, then gets it to Keeney. Bahana's come up the ground, row bottom, got the pick up. At least a teammate in McLaughlin, whose kick was smothered, or Mora. Single, heavily involved so far in the contest. Mora again. Bombers perhaps winning the ground skirmishes at the moment as just walk to the line. So Essendon 205 points for, 205 against for the season, so their percentage on parity. Victory today, they'd have a positive win-loss and a positive percentage. 4 matches remaining in their campaign. Prasparkas being held off ball.
Now, Nigel, I was just watching Prasparkas during that stoppage there. She's trying to create a lot of movement because Barwick's trying to grab and hold her, and that hence why they got the free kick there.
4th touch for Prasparkas. 1st touch for the returning Bonnie Toogood. And a chance to really give this knee a workout. Have you found restriction in kicking post your return?
Initially, yes, and because it's on the kicking side, my kicking was on my left, my injury was on my left foot, so that's the reason why I didn't have too many issues, Nige.
It's more unselfish than perhaps impediment there for Toogood, who tried to check it to Scott. They couldn't mark. Bahana does. The Suns release, but the ball will be turned over at halfway. Careful bounce from Morecambe. They look to spread the field. First time they've really been out to the outer side of People's First Stadium, the Bombers. Alexander to G. Kick wide and it won't reach the arc, so Alasu will put it into Gervin's hands.
The one thing the Suns are doing really well at the moment is they're keeping the ball in a contest. Once the Essendon can kick mark and create a composed style of footy, that's when the Suns will be in trouble.
Bombers 27 possessions to 15 so far as Oliver in their second match. Kicks down the line. Dupay sees it over the line and out. Taya Oliver will turn 23 Thursday week. Terrific story. Started footy in 2021. Got all the way through to being a QAFLW Team of the Year member in 2023. Playing some really good footy with Cooperoo. Pick 44 in last year's draft. Bella against Wales. Brand Catasano in there. Nanscorn gets moving. Kick on an angle. Two Suns down the line. Fine mark from Darcy. So foot race created. Single. Also part of the tape brigade for the Suns today. Hand pass defensively. Cute Darcy to come to it. Handball comes further afield for Clayton. Bombers now with the numbers. Tricky one for Walker. Can trap on the bounce. Put it in the hands at half back. G shares to Alexander, who goes for a Sunday jog. 3 bounces, waiting for it to unfold. Clever use. Gamble could keep this moving, will get herself back off the mark, but in the end, the best option will be to take her shot.
Again, that was all to do with the way the Suns moved the footy initially. They moved it to the open side of the ground, which left them very exposed on turnover, which is what Cameron Joyce is not trying to avoid in his side at the moment, just because they're being scored so heavily against. But you can see the Dons' ball movement, clinical by foot, and Elise Gamble, can she polish this one off for the first of the day? 2
goals in each of her last 2 games. 7th in the Bombers' best and fairest playing in defence. A revelation forward in season 2024. This is right. We have our first score. It's taken 8 minutes of footy. Elise Gamble had played a bit of time forward coming through the system in Tasmania. Hasn't taken long to pick up the cues of being in front of the ball rather than behind it. Suns again have numbers at this contest. Low bottom, a shade high. What a season Charlie Rowbottom is having. 31 possessions per game to lead all comers. Also leading the league for clearances. Got through several sets of hands. Dupay couldn't get it in the end. Quick handball out from Bradford. Could release Van Loon, and the Bombers get another look inside 50. Gervin playing in front of Scott. Had to shape the kick to keep it in, and even better, find a target. The second juggle for Oliver looked to be across the line, but the mark's paid. And here's a fly. Lucy Single getting up and about. Dupay receives the free kick. Free kick count in the match between these two teams. A Great Barrier Reef Arena in the final game last year was Essendon 20, the Suns 7. It's a little bit more equitable so far as Gaylor takes the grab.
Gaylor's been a young superstar for Essendon in the back half this year. Natalie Wood absolutely loves her work down there.
Averaging 10 possessions a game. That's a nice piece of use from the product of the Calder Cannons to Too Good, who's getting up the ground and picking off some options to Maddie Gay. Careful use. Methodical from the Bombers to find Gamble again, who had Nanscorn on the 45, goes deeper, hand on it from Walker. Playing the ball, paddling, Darcy to Barwick, who elects to snap. He was probably in a dangerous spot, but good enough was Dupay. So can the Suns create some overlap on the turnover? Mora, the former Roo, goes to Oliver, who's patrolling the wings. Checks the kick neatly enough into the hands of Stanton. It's not a lot down the line, and the Bombers have also got an outnumber that won't impact this contest. So lateral is the play to Single. Their 4th touch. Now they get a 1-on-1. Dupay, Mora with the follow-up. Got an outside for Clayton, looking for Bahana. Spillage, Kane at the back. Scoops the kick for Nanscorn. And it's up and back at the moment, and this will gas both sides given the temperature and the fact that they played a game just 5 days ago. Adams, Clark run down from behind. Been good tackling pressure from the Suns between the arcs so far, Lib.
Absolutely. I'm loving the work of DePay actually getting up the ground, using a big, strong body to create contest, but also use that aerial power that she has.
McLaughlin was the tackler, and eventually they work it to Keely Fullerton, whose dad, Grant, just trained a greyhound winner at Healesville, if you don't mind. Inside 50, the Suns go. Bahana couldn't glove it. Gaylor taken to the grounds.
Loving the composure the Suns are showing early. Well, both teams actually, you know, you mentioned, Nige, the transition game, but you can see that both teams are trying to create composure when they can.
Kane's got plenty of it. It's on display to find Maddie Gay, who will check the kick short and wide for Radford. Now it's the Bombers released. In search of their 8th inside 50 of the day. Scott on a hustling lead, and they're clever enough to take off. Try and run through a second Sun, and that ain't happening. A lot to like about Gold Coast. They've laid 12 tackles to 5 thus far.
Cameron Joyce will be very happy with that. That pressure in contest is what we saw a lot from their game style last year. A missed kick there, a missed opportunity to go forward again, but they're consistently creating pressure and creating errors from Essendon, which is exactly what they want in this first term.
Got through the hands of Georgia Clark. So nothing beyond this contest. Oh, that's tremendous. Terrific mark deep in defence from Morecambe. Georgia Clark. Dangerous ball. Safe enough. Was that knocked out of Walker's hands? 50 against Brancatisano. And the 50s let them down against Collingwood. Effectively generated 2 of Collingwood's 4 goals. They've given away an early one here that was just not necessary.
Well, yeah, it's an absolute coach killer, that maybe slightly unlucky, but any time that you touch the ball off a free kick, the umpire's going to be looking to pay that.
They're finding hit-ups inside 50, the Bombers. Daria Bannister does not need a big sample of possessions to have an impact. 7 goals this season. Turns creative for Adams. And it seems like all the Suns players are trying to defend the goal line rather than number off.
I think that's a massive stat there. 5 marks inside 50. That's a massive no-no for the Gold Coast Suns defenders, particularly also their midfielders that aren't tracking back to fill those holes to help out, because it can't all be on the defenders. I know I'm a defender myself, but you can't have just all 6 of them protecting all that space.
Adams shapes the ball right to the line. McLaughlin. Handball released, Lynch pushed out of it by Bannister. Fullerton, tangle of feet and paddle to the line. Keeney wanting the lasso, but it won't be forthcoming.
So that'll be one they'll have to try and fix up at quarter time. The fact that they've had too many marks inside their D50.
So the Bombers had 3 in total in the corresponding match last year, and already half a dozen. Single with a takeaway, forced to go on the outside of the boot. It was always going to be a challenging kick to pull off. But not a heap of damage done yet, despite those marks inside 50. Gaylor. Got an option in the circle in Van Loon. They've been able to hit up these 45s as they've liked. Single, follow up on Pressparkers, Oliver, and we'll out for Fullerton. Got the half volley pick up, but then copped a smother from Bush through the fingertips of Wales. Stepping into plenty of Bombers was Darcy. Can Essendon take advantage of what's been their quarter from a possession and territory perspective? Amelia Radford duties to send it back inside 50. Flying out at Scott, they bring it to ground, but Suns of the numbers, Gervin. Handball went over the head of the intended target. Membry, Pressparkers from the arc. Slapped away from Amber Clark. Good last line defence from the Suns, but more required. Amber Clark's kick is wide and out.
Would have liked that kick inside 50, more to the top of the square. It was very, very boundary side, or very skinny. which means it's quite easy to defend. But once you kick off the line, Nigel, it's so hard for the defence to cover that.
No risk here for Gervin. Long down the line contest. Oliver, prominent thus far. Back to Brancatisano. Did well to step through Prespakis. Kick on the outside of the boot is going to come back with interest. Staying down, Clark will get a chance to snap late and kick Essendon's first. Case of playing the percentages for Amber Clark. Players on both sides flying, stayed down, got the spoils. Her third of the season, and Essendon get what they probably deserved out of the opening quarter.
Well, that was the 11th inside 50 for the Bombers, and you can see here the amount of presence in the air from the Suns, just far too many. No one represented them on the ground, and the Bombers got an easy one out the back. That's something you need to avoid when playing the Dons, because they've got some really creative small forwards like Clark. Amber
Clark's got 11 goals now in 26 AFLW matches, the product of the Narry North Foxes and the Dandenong Stingrays. Prespakis trying to take an advantage that wasn't there, and that'll add 25 metres to the GPS as Maddie gets back to her mark. Time enough for the Bombers to get another and really press home the advantage they've had in the first quarter. Van Loon checks the kick, low down, Wales. Met solidly by Bella, but still flung it out. Walker to Kane. One last chance for Essendon. Bannister taken high. Fitzpatrick not in a great way on landing. Here's what's happening off the ball between Prespakis trying to go to row bottom and Barwick trying to find Maddie.
That's the best way to break a tag. You just go to someone.
So the unfolding story outside of this replay is Clara Fitzpatrick on landing, turned 34 last Tuesday. An awkward landing in the end, and hand went to her face initially, which indicated she was in a bit of discomfort. She still looks to be that way. The siren beats the Bombers' search for a second, but they owned the opening quarter. 12 inside 50s to 4. Amber Clark's goal with 33 seconds remaining separates the teams. We'll get an update on Clara Fitzpatrick's status. After this, Essendon 1-1. The Suns yet to score. Sunday football, week 6 of AFLW, commencing at People's First Stadium, temperature above 30, margin at 7. Amber Clark with this goal with 33 seconds remaining in the opening quarter is what separates Essendon, who can vault themselves into the 8th at the completion of week 6 with victory this afternoon on the Gold Coast as they complete their strip of 4 matches in the space of a fortnight. Nigel Carmody alongside Libby Birch, who wait for an update on the status of Clara Fitzpatrick, but territory dominance, the story of the first quarter for the Bombers.
Yeah, absolutely. 12 inside 50s Essendon and 4 to the Suns, so you can see that early dominance.
4th time this season, the Suns have failed to kick a goal in the opening quarter. Their coach, Cameron Joyce, is with Courtney.
Yes, I am down here with Cameron. First quarter, the team look amazing out there. It's really survival of the fittest, isn't it, with this heat?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, warm day, and both teams are in the compressed. So, there's nowhere to hide out there today. But I think what we've got to do is just trying to arrest the territory battle. I think like they'd almost sort of high 60-70% time in forward half. So we've got to be able to get the ball going forward a little bit more, hold it in our half a little bit more. So we're more of a chance to score.
Absolutely. Give us an update on Clara Fitzpatrick for us.
Yeah, it's just sort of being assessed at the moment. Obviously, that contest right on sort of quarter time. So she'll start on the bench and then we'll work through about her availability for the rest of the match.
Amazing. Good luck. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to Courtney and Cameron Joyce. Do you want to see the Suns, even though they only had the 4 inside 50s, perhaps hold it deeper forward to have some structure when they do go in?
Yeah, absolutely. The Suns forwards getting up very high to defend, which is leaving them nothing for that territory kick long down the line.
Bit happening off the ball there. Press Parker sliding down as play went on. And the Suns will get an early inside 50 as Bahana receives the free. Drives the kick. Where's the target? There it is. To pay.
I love that quick kick there from Bahana, straight inside 50, leaves to pay, who's in red-hot form starting this match. One-on-one, she's got space, she's got the aerial presence, and that's a brilliant kick to the advantage side, a run and launch from a big key forward.
3-5 for the season, 2 of them Wednesday night against Hawthorn at Kinetic Stadium. Suns get exactly what they wanted to start the second. Well, there we go, Lib. That's exactly what the Suns need. Win from clearance, and then Bahana kicking to Dupay, or vice versa, will be a way to go about it.
Looks good, doesn't it, Nige? It looks clean and clinical when it happens, but it all starts from that centre clearance. The Suns, they've started this second quarter with a bang. A quick clearance straight to their captain, Tara Bahana, and then a great left foot kick inside 50 to Dupay, who has been an aerial presence up forward all day today. So a great start there from Gold Coast.
They had just 14 possessions in their forward half in the opening quarter. The Suns, Bombers had 51 of their 75 in there. Prespakis from the knees, but Bella was there first, looking for Fullerton. Couldn't quite get boot to ball via the G tackle. Single after it. Prespakis pushed out of it. Barwick doing a good job to be a bit of a nuisance at the moment. Keeney to Kane, low down. That's a nice touch. Not marked though by Gamble. Got it off to Bannister. Gets one high.
You mentioned Prespakis there, Nige.
Bannister short. Fans not happy with what they're hearing at People's First Stadium. Too good. Couldn't take the handball from Alexander. Single working back deep in defence, but the blast kick doesn't work with the Bombers having the outnumber, and Maddie Gay with yet another intercept. Checks the kick through the hands of Too Good. Single. Slices it wide. It'll get just over Keeney. So Bombers have got the numbers here, and Keeney can wait and provide the shepherd for Georgia Clark. Scott pushed under it, spotted. Not much in it from Gervin, but again, a bit like the Brank Catasano 50. The kick had done the job anyway for her.
Yeah, again, a little bit unlucky, but because she didn't contest the footy, that's what the umpire's looking for. You mentioned Maddie Prespakis being well held, but it's Nan Scorn that's getting to the outside and creating a little bit of damage.
Scott, they're looking more to hand off than have a shot. Will be tied against the line.
I reckon that's out, Nige.
We'll get a replay in a moment. Bannister's been paid the mark nonetheless.
Oh,
Here's the call. In the shadows, the angle's a bit of a trick, but Daria Bannister is more than capable of doing the miraculous. Across the face, a point, doubles the margin. 7-4 for the season for the former Ruin Bulldog. Can the Suns find a way back to forward? And that's that risky, skinny kick that opens up a repeat. Too good down for Alexander, sweeping through. Couldn't finish her work.
the Gold Coast Suns there, again, very exposed off turnover. They need to locate quickly, particularly when they're going forward. Their defenders should be locating and making sure if there is a turnover that they can execute a good defence.
Lynch. Work to be done as mark goes to Gervin. But again, they're happy to kick pretty much between the boundary and the centre square. It can be risky, but it could be rewarding. Oliver got it off. Clayton's kick, taken by Georgia Clark. Lurking in the shadows, Gay. Inboard, Manscorn. Has a couple of Suns coming from either side, but smart enough to spot Alexander out the corner of her eye. The kick mark works for the Bombers. Too good to the drop zone against Darcy. Both plant their feet. Support comes for the Suns first. They give it back again. Alexander has been a presence around the arc. Shaped for Wales. Another Lucian single landed awkwardly. Wales kick forward out. A good result for the Dons.
Because the Dons are having so much inside 50 presence, the Gold Coast Suns forwards again are lapsing and coming deep inside D50, which means when they try and rebound the footy, Nige, they're just going to Essendon numbers. So they need to equalise if they can and create enough pressure at the source.
Suns with the first inside 50 of the second yielded a goal. Essendon have had the last 6. Now they'll get one through Prespakis. Simply a matter of time. Like most good mids, Maddie Prespakis will keep turning up to the contests, and it's just a matter of when and not if that she'll have impact, despite the tag and the pressure on her. So here's Lucy's single. She goes to Nanscorn, and then Rowbottom trapped perhaps on the wrong side. Rather see her standing goal side of a stoppage like that.
Yeah, with an active player like Maddie Prespakis, you almost want to catch her on the way through the stoppage and not chase her around. We call it caravanning. And so we would like to see, single or row bottom starting in front of Maddie Prespakis goal side and then catching them through as they have a strong tackle there. But Maddie Prespakis just allowed way too much room there in front of goal.
Not the sort of caravanning you want to do on the Gold Coast in 30-degree heat.
No.
Davies having a turn in the ruck for the Suns. Nanscorn having a wonderful afternoon so far. Puts it to Too Good. There's certainly no issues with Bonnie Too Good's movement and how we've seen her hit up to the ball so far. Mark to Lynch, who's fairly and squarely in front and able to hold her spot on Amber Clark, who kicked the Bombers first. Lynch had safer options wide, goes to a contest. Single, not able to mark. Scott, met by Stanton. And turning into the traffic bush. Keeney, tight against the line. Kept it alive. Kick was touched, as you can hear. Bannister, taken by Gervin. Daria kept it afloat. Manscorn couldn't take it, more it did. But everything's under pressure at the moment for the Suns. They try and find a way out. But Hannah puts the don't argue in on Gaylor. And shapes the kick neatly. Mora. Suns to half forward, but look at that. Maddie Gay eyes for the footy. Suns trying to lengthen. And Essendon intercept again.
Just a poor kick going inside 50. I would have loved to have seen more of the Suns forwards hit back up. because all they were doing was lengthening down the ground. And of course, the person running with the footy can't kick 50 metres plus. So you need to know who is kicking the ball to you so you can lead accordingly.
Bombers have taken 4 of their 6 intercept marks in the game in the 8 minutes of the second. Gay, kick was impacted by the push. Davies, where are the numbers for the Suns? Nowhere near inside 50, but the bounce might favour those in red and yellow. Stanton wanted Bahana, will get that now, nudges her way through Bush, keeps paddling, traps, distributes, back to Stanton, touched! And it would have been the ultimate captain's goal because there was repeat effort after repeat effort from Bahana. Unfortunately, it goes unrewarded in the end.
Get the ball in Tara Bahana's hands more often, Suns. They have been doing a terrific job. She's been absolutely incredible. So
pressure from Oliver to get the hand in, but the Bombers take it away through Morecambe to Nanscorn. Now Adams had a gaze inboard, kicked too good, but there was nice pressure applied in the end from Fitzpatrick, and that's a welcome sign. So Clara Fitzpatrick, who went off the ground at quarter time, and it took her the best part of 2 minutes to get off the ground with the help of a couple of medicos, is back on the ground inside the 10-minute mark of the second. Rowbottom points Fullerton towards the goals. Moore in front, being held. Perhaps takes the mark in the end anyway on Morecambe. Moore comes off the line. Rowbottom thought about the hand pass. Will she try and run either side of the mark here to get a bit of extra distance? Instead, it's off a couple of steps. Bahana versus Clark. It came to Bahana on the left. Bouncing ball will be across the face and stay in for Radford, who had to run around it in the end. Has got Suns to deal with.
that's a great contest win there. They just needed a stoppage to create another repeat inside 50. And this is what the Suns have been lacking, some time in forward half.
Annabelle Keevitt was the one on the scene for the Suns. Frank Catasano sees it across the line. Of course, Gold Coast without their reigning best and fairest, Claudia Whitford, who's in the concussion protocols, will hopefully exit in enough time to be part of the Q Clash at Brighton Homes Arena next weekend. Dupay kicked the Suns first of the game. Bahana almost had an opportunity to take it into the goal square. Oliver hoping for a free kick of some sort, sees it across the line. So Mora 8, Girvan Singles 7, the leading possession getters for the home side. Georgia Nanscorn covering every inch of People's First Stadium, has had a game high 12. Dupay almost took it out of the ruck against Wales. Kane, pressure from behind via Barwick. That's where it'll end.
This is good here for the Suns, create some territory in their forward half, but then also create some sustained pressure. Get their forwards on the move here. Love to see Jamie Stanton absolutely ripping through this stoppage.
Rowbottom's the one trying to get on the move. Comes to Oliver. Wales.
It also allows their defence to set up, and they've been under the pump, particularly in that first term.
Nanscorn watching Rowbottom like a hawk. Comes to Nanscorn, finds a way out, looks to space the handball for G. Fullerton after her. G went with the no-look. The turnover allows McLaughlin in for the Suns. Clark in front of Bahana on this occasion and shows her a clean pair of heels. Morecambe pushes it wide for Radford. Her handball back to Clark, who turns this into a 100-metre play and then some. So Amber Clark marks nothing in front of her in regards to red and black. So Georgia Clark just keeps running. We'll have a third touch in the sequence from defensive 50 to inside 50. And unfortunately, the petrol light was on in the end. And the mark's taken in defence by Charlotte Wilson. That'll be an edit highlighted, though, by Natalie Wood during the course of the week. The follow-up play and the ability to just keep providing options for her team after starting it all in the first place. Fullerton to ground, Nanscorn. Adams. Intercept to Girvan. Suns look to change direction. Rowbottom, the hand pass was almost on to Lynch. Instead, it's Keevan. Margin at 8. Bahana snuck out the back, got hands to it. A little hold, but not paid against Van Loon. Gay, wide. Keevan not able to take it for a second mark in 30 seconds.
You can see Maddie Gay having a little bit of an influence on this quarter now, being able to patrol that half-back position, deliver the footy, create scoring chains. So one to watch there for the Suns, whether they need to put a slight little bit of work into her, maybe a defensive forward just to follow Maddie Gay round, make sure she's not having too much of an impact.
Nan's gone 8, Georgia Clark 6, Maddie Gay 5. They've had 19 of the Bombers' 50 possessions in the quarter. Free kick. Fullerton stood the mark, runs away, and Sophie Alexander can run as she likes. Amber Clark, McLaughlin receives and then goes stepping. And under bounds, Amber Clark hot in pursuit. McLaughlin had to check the kick, almost a Gaelic-style execution. Turnover. Walker pushed off it. Brent Catasano applying the tackling pressure on Keeney. Former teammates going toe-to-toe. Best Keeney, 39 games for the Suns. 7th in their best and fairest on a couple of occasions. Single, out of stoppage. High ball into the middle. Maddie Gay is impassable. Not her best effort by foot though. McLaughlin back to single with speed. Oliver, the head check. And then neat to find Bahana. She's got forwards now to go to. Dupay brought it down. Jordan Membry not able to turn that into something meaningful, but a forward 50 stoppage will do for the Suns. Inside 50s, 11-6 this quarter in favour of Essendon. That's after it was 12-4 in the opening quarter. Can the Suns bring it back within 2 points? Mora, Brancatisano, they're out now through single, kept it alive. Bahana looking for a launch. Membry had to be careful not to infringe and just fell into the back of Morgan.
You can see how important Tara Bahana is at creating that contest. There's a 2v1 there, Maddie Gay dropping back to protect that zone, but just brought that ball to ground, giving their small forwards a chance to do the work. But I'd love to see a little bit more action at ground level for Gold Coast Suns. They've got some small creative players, but they're just not getting to that good spots at the moment.
Mark to Fitzpatrick, warm applause as she's made her way back into the contest. Finds Rowbottom. Rowbottom in turn cues the lead from Georgia Clayton. Bahana, Dupay, all the right names are in the frame here. Bahana comes to meet it. Keevan sneaks the kick out. Oliver just couldn't bring it back.
That's the damage that they can do when they get on the move, and I'd love to see that intensity more often, getting to the fall of the ball at the front of the Essendon defenders to make sure they can make them accountable at ground level as well.
Some good signs from Taya Oliver getting into the right spots in her second AFLW match. Up to 8 possessions off the back of her debut on Wednesday night against the Hawks. Wales will get the free against Lauren Bella. Inside the final 2 minutes of the half, Gervin Marks and Paige Scott, you can see anguish on their face, perhaps contact from that cork the other night. They're heading for the bench while the Suns head goalward. Bahana with 2 to beat, up to the task.
Bahana's been nearly best on ground for the Suns at the moment, just everywhere creating opportunities and so clean. All started from that intercept mark, the transition into the middle of the ground, which creates opportunities and angles for the forwards to take a good mark and get a good set shot at goal. But Tara Bahana, well done.
4-5 for the season. 2 goals in week 4 here at Carrara against the Cats. The captain is playing some sort of game. ground in the second quarter, and by quite some margin. 5 kicks, 4 contested possessions, 2 score assists, and now that goal.
Tara Bahana, what a quarter this has been for her. The captain, she's risen to the occasion and provided that forward option that they desperately needed. But what's been great is Gold Coast Suns have been able to get some more forward half-time, giving her more opportunities to clunk some marks, but then also at ground level, she's been doing damage, Nigel.
Tara Bahana and Jack Dupay ranked first and third for the quarter. They have been the conduits to the Suns, getting themselves back into this contest as Barwick v Pressbarkers continues off the ball. I think the umpire might be waiting for the broadcast light to flash. And there's some counting going on with the umpires in the 666. Oh, sorry, not 666, you know, the correct formations. Let's get our numbers right. So nonetheless, teams now where they need to be. So play restarts. We've got a whistle off ball. And you get a sense Barwick's been pinged for a hold from the umpire on the defensive side of the contest. Pressbarkers out of the hands of Fitzpatrick and now back in them. Slipping over it, an inopportune moment was Single. Kane met solidly and a McLaughlin stop.
McLaughlin's also been good, and you can see this hold here. Oh, again, just a grab of the shorts there on the way round, and that's just to stop Sparks getting speed through the stoppage.
Adams, McLaughlin, a tackling machine. There's the Irish woman, Keeney. Inside the final 20 seconds. Pressbarkers will get front on contact.
McLaughlin's been good at half-back, just creating some energy and some rebound, but Barwick just getting a little too conscious of Pressbarkers, meaning that she's not facing the ball at any point, grabbing and holding, and that was the reason why there was a secondary free kick there.
Maddie's moment arrives. Wind edging to the end the Bombers have kicked with in this quarter, so that should aid Pressbarkers' kick, the 3-time All-Australian, for her second of the quarter. Misses to the left-hand side, so 2-2 to 1-3 in the quarter. The Suns get the job done. 8 inside 50s generating 4 scores. Goals to Jack Dupay 46 seconds into the quarter, and then Tara Bahana at the 18-minute mark means things are on a pretty even plane at halftime at People's First Stadium as the Suns seeking their first win of 2024 after playing finals in 2023. Essendon remain in front though, 2-4-16 to 2-2-14. Leading possession getter on the ground at the half, Georgia Nanscorn with 14. Neve McLaughlin rocketing into the contest in that second term with 11 touches and also a number of tackles. Tara Bahana has played the ultimate captain's game in the first half. She's with Courtney.
I am down here with our Gold Coast captain, and what a quarter it was for yourself. How do you keep this momentum moving forward for the second half?
Yeah, I guess we've been building the last few weeks, and we know that. Obviously, the start of the season wasn't great, so we just built off the last few games for us and going back to what our strengths are, but that's a contest. So we feel like if we keep working that over, it'll go. It just started to do in that quarter.
And it's been a big, huge week for both teams. How do you feel the team's going with that recovery and, as I said before, get through the second half?
Yeah, look, it's really paramount that we, get those recovery points done. We have kind of a cheat sheet we have to meet, and so I guess coming back to the heat it's extra important, especially hydration. And as you can see, it's a really hot day out here, so we feel like we've prepared well, and we've got the recovery in place to keep going.
Well, good luck for the second half, and let you lead that team, hopefully, to a win.
Yeah, hopefully so. Thank you.
No problems with how Tara Bahana's covering the ground in her 38th AFLW game. A splendid second term to bring her team back into the contest. Half-time on the coast. It's the Bombers by 2.
All right, there we go. It's half time. We'll be back to the commentators when they come back. Just welcome everyone into the live chat here. Of course, Simple Internet, 15's Winnie, Addie G, Jenny, Juice, Real. Who else we got in here? We've got everyone in here. Harvey, good on you. Ryan, Bianca, We've got lots of people in there today. It should be a good game. The NRL Grand Final tonight. Melbourne Storm taking on the Panthers. Go Storm! Should be another Melbourne Storm victory, I would say. I just looked at the odds. 180 favourites, Melbourne Storm. 205 the Panthers. But there we go. Getting back to this game, I tell you what, this is a fantastic game. Gold Coast Suns and Essendon. Essendon by 2 points, 2-4-16, 2-2-14 to the Suns. Just because it's low-scoring game doesn't mean this is an ordinary game. This is a great game. Both teams getting plenty of run. They're handling the ball well. They're attacking their forward 50, but the pressure of the defensive is holding up strong. I'm liking the way Prasparkas is playing there for the Bombers and the captain for the Suns. They're both going fantastic. This is a great game. It looks like a beautiful day up there. People's First Stadium on the Gold Coast. Sunny Queensland. Temperature's probably about 22, 24 degrees, I would imagine, this time of year up there. I haven't actually heard the temperature, but it looks like that. They said it was pretty warm up there. It's a beautiful sunny day. Essendon had a slight breeze in that quarter, so we'll see how the Suns go in the next. This is a hard game to call. I'm actually, you're thinking, the way you think, you know what, just the feeling Essendon will win because the Gold Coast Suns, looking at where they sit on the ladder, let me bring that across, where they sit on the ladder at the moment, Essendon are sitting 10th on the ladder, played 6, 3 wins, 3 losses, 12 points. They need to win this game to jump up into the top 8. And of course, the poor Gold Coast Suns down there just on 6 games, 5 losses, no wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. Well, they actually should have won a game against the Magpies. It was just a wrong call by the review panel, which gave them a point instead of a goal, and they could have possibly won that game. So Gold Coast looking to win this game to jump above and go up to 17th, but just because they're 10th and 18th on the ladder doesn't mean this isn't a fantastic game. Let's have a look at the disposal. Who's leading the count for disposals? Can I get a shout out for Geelong West Giants? Who's Geelong West Giants? Centre all 15's Winnie. Shout out Geelong West Giants. Go, go, go. Surely they can do it. All right. Georgie Nanskaween leading the way there. Leading the way there for the Bombers on 14 disposals, 8 kicks, 6 handballs, 4 marks. There we go. Nima McLaughlin there. Best for the Suns on 11. Lucy Single next on 10. Madison Prasparkas, she's going okay. I tell you what, she looks pretty dangerous out there. So she's getting double tagged and double teamed up against. I tell you what, she's quite skillful. She's like a player that it just feels like there's plenty of time when she's got the ball. One of those slow-mo players. So she's quite good. She's got some talent there. She had 10 possessions, 8 kicks, 2 handballs. She's kicked 1 goal, 1. I do like the way Kid Lario is doing pre-game. Oh, there you go. Nice one, nice one. Charlie Rowbottom, and she said the 9 there for the Suns as we keep on going down. Daria Bannister, 8 disposals. She just kicked a point there. And all right, so the commentators are coming back. We will just roll down the player stats here, and we'll put you back to the commentators. And once they are done, or we are on a break, let me just roll back up here quickly. Check out the goal scorers. Of course, we've got all single goal scorers on the ground. Of course, Madison Prasparkas and Amber Clark, both singles there for the Bombers, and Jacqueline Dupai and Tara Bohanna, single goal scorers there for the Suns. All right. Well, let's head back down to the commentators. They'll give us a few thoughts, and then we'll have a look at the team stats.
Have got ourselves a ball game. 2-4 plays 2-2. Essendon leading the Suns. Nigel Carmody alongside Libby Birch. And Lib, there was a clear adjustment from the Suns in that quarter that has provided them with an opportunity to perhaps get their first win of the season. What did you like about what they did after quarter time?
Yeah, I really liked that they were able to win some ball through the middle of the ground, but then they were able to capitalise on their territory dominance. They were able to hold it inside 50, get a couple of repeat entries, and then we saw Dupai and Tara Bohanna get active inside 50.
Head and shoulders above the rest. We can almost lock in Maddie Prasparkas anytime Essendon are playing. there's an issue for the Suns they need to deal with, and that's the fact that she has attracted a game-high 5 free kicks so far. What's the adjustment for whether it's Elise Barwick or Lucy Single playing her around stoppage to not infringe and then set the game up for her?
Yeah, well, Maddie Pasparkas has had tags experience. So what she's trying to do is get to another midfielder and create, I guess, that tendency for Barwick or Single to grab hold of a shirt or a jumper. And what's happening is Barwick needs to make sure she's also have eyes for the footy. So using her body, looking at the footy, but making sure that she's got that angle to see both.
In the opposing corner, we spoke coming out of the quarter-time huddle that the Suns needed to find and assemble a forward structure and maybe keep someone deep. That player is their skipper, Tara Bahana, who didn't have a possession inside forward 50 in the opening quarter. She had 3 in that second quarter, yielding this goal as well. What a presence she's been.
Yeah, what they did in that quarter was Tara Bahana became the link player and Dupay played sort of a deep key forward, which I think worked far better than in the first term when Dupay was up the ground and Tara Bahana was deep forward. So it's brilliant for the Suns to be back in this game.
Geelong and the Swans to clash at Henson Park following our match at People's First Stadium. Kate Massey will be on the boundary this afternoon. She's caught up with Kate Darby from the Cats ahead of Game 50.
Well, Kate Darby, it's been quite the journey to get to 50 games for you, from delistings to a baby, now major milestone. How does it feel knowing it's 50 today?
Yeah, super exciting. I've been saying all week that it feels like I've taken the scenic route, but I mean, makes the journey more exciting, I guess. And yeah, really thankful to get here and just excited to get out there today and play some footy with the girls and with the people that I've loved being along the journey with.
Who is here supporting you today?
So I've got my little girl Ella, my husband Daniel, and mum and dad will all be here, and obviously all the girls that I get to run out with. I'm really excited for them to be around it as well. And then obviously G Rankin, who is her 50th today as well, is a really close friend of mine, and we've been through a lot together at the club, and yeah, really excited to get to celebrate that together, which is really good.
Go well today. Good luck. Thanks for your time.
Much.
Yeah, we wish Kate Darby and Georgie Rankin all the best in their 50th matches. That's the Cats and the Swans from Henson Park a little bit later on this afternoon. That match, of course, to follow the second half between the Suns and the Bombers. Essendon victory will put them in the 8 at the end of week 6. At halftime, they hold a 2-point advantage. It's the second half. This is coming on the other side.
All right, so since they are just on a quick ad break there, let's have a look at some of the team stats in this game. As I said, they like the way the Suns are making ground, finding some open space, both using the wings well. It's just a great game here today. Let's have a look at the disposals. Essendon leading the way, 133-106. Tell you what though, it should be pretty even Stevens around most of these stats, I would imagine. It does look pretty even game. 16 more kicks. Well, there we go, 11 more handballs. Essendon, well, there we go. Inside 50s though. Big discrepancy here, folks. Big discrepancy here. 25 inside 50s to the Bombers, 12 for the Suns. This is showing you how good the defensive work of the Suns are. 25 inside 50s for only 6 scoring shots. 2 goals, 4 for the Bombers. 12 inside 50s for the Gold Coast Suns. 4 scoring shots. 2 goals, 2. They're doing, they're quite dangerous when they go inside their forward 50, the Suns, but they do need to get into their forward 50 a little bit more. They need to keep one of their key forwards back deep in their forward 50, so when they do get that run, they've got someone there to kick to instead of just empty space and that allowing the Essendon defence just to roll back onto the ball and take it out of defence too easily. But 12 to 25, big discrepancy, so the Suns are doing quite well. Disposal efficiency. I've put those 2 words together. 68, going at a pretty high rate there, the Suns. 63, not too bad there for the Bombers. 41, 40 inside 50 efficiency, both not too bad. It depends. If KO's got the game on tonight, I'll definitely do it on KO. Because free-to-air TV, there are just too many ads on. Well, I guess there's too many ads on AFL. We'll see. We'll have a little bit of a look, see which ones and who's covering it. Free kick, 7-12, Bombers by 5 there. That's one of the times the home team hasn't got the advantage with the free kicks. Hit-outs, the Gold Coast Suns leading the way, but the Bombers have got the clearances in all departments. 13-10, centre clearances, 3-2, stoppage clearances, 10-8. There we go. Let's have a look at the contested possessions. Bombers a little bit harder. Of course, uncontested, they're just controlling the ball a little bit more. Turnovers, 30 each. As I said, it's good pressure going down back. Both defences holding on well. Marks, 29-39. Marks inside 50. This is where Essendon's doing well. Essendon are really hitting their targets. They're finding their lead-ups, and they're not just always bombing it in there. They are lowering their eyes and definitely showing a little bit more composure in that area. Marks inside 50 for the Suns. Well, they've only been inside 50, a dozen times or so. So 1 in 6 inside 50s, they've spotted up a mark. Tackles, as I said, the Suns bringing good defence there, holding up the Bombers well, 24-17. Both tackles inside 50, 4 apiece. But that's all from me. I'm going to get back down to the commentators, and they're going to take us into the bounce of the ball. For the second half, it's the Bombers by 2 points, but this is anybody's game. This is going to be a cracking second half.
You fans, I have to say here yourself, can you give us an update at the moment? How's your injury going?
Yeah, it's really good. It's done. I've done the full 12 months, so back into games really, really soon. I'm so excited. I'm very eager to get back in and especially play with a bunch of my friends and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to hopefully making your debut soon.
Yes, hopefully next year is the year. So I'm unfortunately inactive this year, but next year I'll be ready to be on that field playing plus.
Thank you for your time, Sienna. Thank you.
Thanks, Sienna and Courtney. Bombers go inside 50 to start the second half. Heavy fire warn there by Darcy. Ball bounces on its point. 5 in the contest. Morecambe to ground. Van Loon away from the Oliver attempted tackle. Her hand pass knocked away by Single. Nanscorn ducking, diving, weaving, hand passing. Kane. Back to Van Loon, and where it all started. Handing from Rowbottom, helping out the defence. Can the Suns find a way out? Pressure in the contest, but a free kick as Stanton got into the back of Van Loon.
Bonnie Toogood will be happy to get through that first half after coming back from an MCL injury. It's all about just getting a few contests out of the way, a few marks, a few kicks, so now she can really settle in and create damage up forward.
Keeney in the contest against Clayton. Alexander was knocked away by McLaughlin. Keeney in again. Best Keeney, 7 possessions against her former side in the opening half. Bella, well read by Rowbottom on the move. That's how the Suns can get out to that next layer. The hold was clear as day on Dupay.
The umpires have been calling that a fair few times this weekend. I wonder if it's been in the coaching notes because there's been a couple of that today and also in the previous games this weekend. So one to watch for everyone out there.
Bahana trying to work her player over, and in the end, that opened things up for Jamie Stanton to mark, who sees Bahana as the deepest forward. There's an Essendon player right in front of where the Sun skipper wants to lead, so it's going to go deep. Bahana, 1 by 2-3, almost. And the support act of Georgia Clark in the end sees off the danger, and the margin is back to a point.
You can see how concerned the Dons are with Tara Bahana. She's constantly got 2 players on her, but that was a great kick there from Jamie Stanton.
They're about half the inside 50s, the Suns, but when they go in, they are razor sharp, largely thanks to their skipper. Bombers looking to get them on the slingshot. Bannister, Nanscorn again. Just a tiny little infringement from the Suns, but it lets them down. Nanscorn short, diving attempt from Kane. Paddled to Wales, back to Nanscorn. From the blind side came Dupay. Oh, neat work to get out of traffic from Morecambe. Alexander and Gamble. Left for Gamble. Scoops the kick. Scott was trapped behind Gervin and really left with no other options. Paige Scott, suffice to say, they're not moving with full fluency given the cork on the right quad.
I think Paige Scott's also playing a little bit deeper today. Usually Paige plays a little bit higher up the ground, which means she can create that linkage for the Dons.
Rowbottom's handball release played in. Bombers player pushes, they kicked. Morecambe finds Keeney. Had Alexander inboard but heads deeper. Too good. Nice work from Fitzpatrick against the line to see things off. So Bonnie Too Good credited with 3 possessions so far, but I feel like she's had more involvement in the game than that stat line.
Yeah, she absolutely has. She's been creating a good contest up forward, and that's all you would expect from Bonnie today, recovering from a serious knee injury and coming back so quickly. So it'll be here that she just grows in confidence after contest after contest.
Rowbottom was standing press Barkers initially. Barwick came in. The outnumber worked for the home team. Pressure applied by Mora. Wales, the kick without looking. 2-on-2 deep. Fitzpatrick dropped it. Gamble cannoned in to Darcy.
It's good crumb work from a tall forward there, Gamble, and the Dons really need their small forwards doing that, but great there. Great instinct. Blood rule here.
Lauren Bella, so copped the indiscriminate boot at the opening stoppage, and 5 minutes later will find herself off the ground. So there'll be a shuffle in the ruck ranks. Jack Dupay's on the scene at this contest, so can ably replace Lauren Bella, the Suns' most experienced player in their colours, playing her 54th match for the club today. The ringer Rosie involving Press Barkers continues. Darcy sunk the fist into it. Nanscorn being held, and again the Suns infringe advantage. Press Barkers. Did we have a pause in the game there, Liv, or was there sufficient continuation for that advantage?
No, I think there was an advantage there for the Dons, but a lot of free kicks being given today for very small amounts of contact. Again here, Nanscorn, she's been good all day. Yes, the hold was probably there from Rowbottom, but it's just the pace of their midfielders that they're hitting the stoppage with that are really concerning the Suns. And again, got to be goal side. That's going to create an opportunity for Nanscorn to hit the scoreboard any time that you're chasing or caravanning around stoppage.
Free kick 16-9 Bombers, 4 for high contact, 4 for holding, and 5 for pushing the back. Nanscorn out the front. Alexander, Press Barkers, the Bombers looking to create some space against the winless Suns. Nanscorn, Scott on the lead. And wants that mark reset, and it will be by at least a metre or so for Girvan. Again, Paige Scott, they are right on their range if fully fit. The right quad after the cork Wednesday night against the Swans has got that heavy taping and padding. Paige Scott's got some power though. Kick tumbles wide. Gamble swept onto it. And the free kick will go the way of Darcy Davies.
Paige Scott just tried to kick that a little too hard, and sometimes when you do that, you can shank it or it goes short.
Speaking of short, it's Davies to Lynch on her return after being managed through weeks 3 and 5.
This has been the difference for the Suns in the way they've approached the second half of the year, is their ability to show composure on transition, and that's really working for them against the Dons today.
Benbury to Dupay. It's not much ahead though. Dupay forlorn. Girvan tracking around the back. Chips to a contest and easily picked off. 8th intercept mark of the day for the Bombers. Van Loon on this occasion to Georgia Clark. This will be her 12th possession. That's coming off 15 and 16 in her last 2. certainly being given more of a licence to get involved in their ball movement, and that was on show with that free possession effort over 120 metres in the second. Nan Scorn with a tackle at memory. Georgia Nan Scorn, 19 possessions. That's just the first tackle she's been credited with today, which is unusual.
Well, Nan Scorn, because Prasparkas is being heavily tagged on the inside, Nan Scorn's actually been on the outside and has been able to get loose, so she hasn't actually had to do too much defending.
13 of her possessions uncontested today. To your eyes, fatigue starting to become a factor in this game?
Oh, absolutely. That condensed fixture puts a lot of toll on the bodies, and particularly with this heat, with a 3 or 4 day break for both teams, this time is going to be important to create control in the game, because as soon as it turns into transition between the arcs, fatigue's going to set in heavily and the skills are going to drop off.
Both teams coming off Wednesday night encounters in Melbourne. Nan Scorn to Wales, into the feet of Scott. They skid it back out. Walk at the no-look. Bradford, Gamble. No free kick in the one-on-one against Girvan, who delegates to Grant Catasano. Handball comes wider. Membry, Darcy involved. Stanton on the stretch. Needs to keep this in and can't.
I really like the game of Girvan. Has been great in that deep 50 for the Suns, just being able to patrol the air and then get some rebound 50s, particularly with the onslaught that the Dons have sustained. They just haven't been able to apply that scoreboard nourishment, Nigel. Would you agree with their territory dominance?
2-3 from 13 entries. The Bombers 3-4 from their 32. Davies in the ruck against Alexander. Adams tackled by Darcy. Row bottom, trying to muscle it out to Mora. On the outside now, Fullerton. Space for the Suns. All of a sudden, into the hands of Keevan. The kick squiff. Morecambe. Kick touched. They needed some ball security there to the Gold Coast. Gaylor. Kick wide for Toogood. Where's a bump? They allowed Fitzpatrick in. And Steph Kane's high shot was live in front of a studio audience. Fitzpatrick finds Barwick. Mora's in the right spot, so is Gaylor, who's so composed at just 19. Been a really steady addition to the Bombers' defence. And a neat left foot to Bush. Kick off the outside, allows Fullerton in. Goes without it. Kane takes her down.
Important to get ball security there. It was great turnover from the Suns, but they need to make sure that created a stoppage because the Dons were out on the open side.
Dish from Davies, row bottom again, in motion at the stoppage. Left it for Membry to pop the handball free. Keeney elects to go off the ground. Row bottom is after her, as is Barwick. Are you happy to escort this to the line? Even better for the Suns to keep it alive in their front half. Row bottom trying to connect, cutting the angles in brilliant fashion is Mia Bush.
You can feel the tempo just lifting this game in this third term. Both teams wanting to put the foot down and create a stamp on this game, because at the moment it's definitely up for grabs.
Well, the biggest lead is 9 points. So if Essendon can muster another one in a low-scoring contest, it's going to be quite the ask for the Suns, playing their 4th game in the space of a couple of weeks. Alexander to Keeney, not the required distance. Keeney with the outside of the boot, tumbles it. You see Gamble trying to trot after it. First back there for the Suns was Wilson. Scott took it, wanted Gamble. Gold Coast with the numbers. Single looks to use her speed and keep it alive. Towing the line out of the hands of Keeney. Davies. And Single stays attached to the flow of play. Down the line, the 1-on-1 was Bella, who's back into the ground from the blood wall. Terrific quarter so far from Morecambe in defence. Got it off to Keeney. It's flown into the middle of the ground. Nan Scorn wins the contest against Fullerton and does really well. Some of her hockey nows just to stick and paddle it forward. 1-on-1 deep at the back. Clark for a second. has just snuck it in. So Amber Clark with her second goal of the day, kicked the opening goal of the match late in turn one, and the Bombers have got a game-high 13-point margin. Georgia Nanscombe just ferocious.
She was, just kept it in front of her, and that's a brilliant kick again to the advantage of the forward. Clark here almost slid the post, I think, on the way up, but didn't, and it was a goal, but that was brilliant play there off the turnover for the Dons.
Bella in the ruck against Wales. Gold Coast needing to respond. Fullerton on the outside, receives from Rowbottom. Gaylor again, getting better by the minute. Short for Pressparkas. Gaylor involved for the second time in this passage, going at 100% so far. Nanscombe via Too Good. Gamble dealt with down the line by Lynch. Fitzpatrick, Wilson. Likely to give it back. The bounce was just beyond Morecambe. Stanton gets an opportunity that is taken to ground in the backwash as Matty Gay marks. And Essendon, their ball movement has definitely gone up a gear. Kane, low down, trying to get the boot in was McLaughlin. Wales with time, space, composure, and the exquisite finish. And just like that, 7 becomes 13, becomes 19, and there's a mountain to climb for the Suns. And the body language doesn't look great, but Essendon, they can sense an opening.
Well, the Bombers have certainly stepped it up in this third term, but it's been their ball use through the corridor that's really sliced open the Suns' defence, which has also meant that they've often been left with one-on-ones inside 50, but they've been clinical with their foot skills. They've been outnumbered inside 50, and they've been able to get over the top of the Suns' defence, and it's been quick. It's been so hard to adjust to for the Suns in this little 3-minute period here.
What a player Steph Wales is at 188 centimetres. Basically like another midfielder who can provide them with such good service in the ruck. Rowbottom, the Suns needing one and in a hurry. Oliver, outpointed by Gay, and all the right Bombers are lifting at the right time. Amber Clark, back to Pressparkas. The cavalry arrives in number. Radford coughed it up. Single, trying her level best for the home team, tumbles it forward. Gaylor is back there, looking off the line. And that left boot is very handy alongside the likes of Georgia Clark and Maddie Gay. Kane's got it. Pressparkas right at the top of the screen. It's 2 possessions from her as Adams goes into attack. Bring it down Bannister. Too Good leaves it for Daria, who got a kick somehow and gets the bounce. Oh, it's almost gone through. Is that still in? It is. Clark, can she find a way out? No. That would have been some sort of goal and cruel and unusual punishment against the Suns if Essendon had have found a way. How's this hook turn? The Sharon does for Daria Bannister, then stays in, backhanded. Katie Lynch would want that moment again, but saving the day was Daisy Darcy on Amber Clark.
We've got a lot of great game. Nigel can go absolutely anywhere, but just notice Tara Bahana's come back into defence just to slow the momentum down of the Dons. But it means they're now lacking a forward presence, Nigel, in the depth of their side with Tara back there. So nothing to kick to up forward except to pay at the moment unless other teammates can get involved. Tara
Bahana, her first possession of the quarter. It's taken 18 minutes after she was the highest ranked player on the ground in the second as the Suns outscored Essendon 2-2 to 1-3. It's 3 straight to a behind in the third, and there might be more to come. Georgia Clark, off and gone.
Yeah.
Clark staying down. That's Amber, and Tara Bahana is worth her weight in gold back there. Single uses the longer option. Clayton heading down the line for Mora. Georgia Clark after her. Clayton immediately under pressure was Barwick.
If they have Tara Bahana down there, they need to use her to march the ball up the field, because otherwise you're losing a forward up the ground if you don't use that advantage. They haven't been as dominant or evened up the clearances either this term, the Suns. That's why the Dons have had a little bit more potency going inside 50 as well.
Clearing ball for the Suns. Essendon again. Van Loon with another intercept mark in the third. Time enough for the Bombers to get another one. Bush. Excellent pressure from Taya Oliver, who's had some neat moments in her second AFLW match. Checks that ball in the hands of Davies, who desperately wants an option, but Essendon have folded back late in the quarter. Gay, Brent Catazano won't be able to make an impact. Radford, numbers now with the Suns though. Row-bottom marks, can funnel it wide here. Gives one to Bress Barkas to take her place on the mark. Adjacent to the bench, so they'll know exactly how much time's left. Suns have got to launch. Single does just that. High fly Oliver, if you don't mind. Adams staying down. And that mark will stave off any thoughts of a Suns goal late here. Alexander's kick is turned over, but it matters little. The Bombers flexing their muscle late in the third. They kick 3 goals to a behind off the back of 12 inside 50s to 8 and a 3-quarter time. They could be 20 minutes of footy away from finding themselves back in the top 8. 3-quarter time at People's First Stadium. Essendon 5-4. Gold Coast 2-3.
Hey, welcome in, Annie. What's going on? What's going on? Annie to the live chat. Good stuff. Tell you what, it looks like the Bombers are just starting to find their way on top here. 3 goals straight. They're kicking that term to just one behind the Suns. They just had a little bit of a hot patch there, did the Bombers, kicking 2 quick goals. It's going to be hard here for the Suns to come back. Even though the Suns still aren't playing too bad, the Bombers just look a little bit better. The Suns still struggling when they're going inside forward 50 to try and find their target. All right, just for all you fans out there who love to have a look at the stats, let's go and have a look. Nanskawin leading the way by a decent margin, 22 disposals, leading the disposal count on the ground. Coming up next, women's grand final, Sana All. They are different. 13 kicks, 9 handballs, 5 marks, 2 tackles. There we go. Lucy Single and Charlie Rowbottom starting to get on, getting a few more possessions. Is the Rowbottom, 18 and 17. Stephanie Wales on 14. So you can see a lot of them sharing the ball. It's always good to see a team effort being in play. Sometimes it's good to see your star players having a crack-out game. It's good also to see an even spread of numbers throughout the teams. There are your team stats. Did you find your player? There we go. Daisy Darcy, 10 there for the Suns. Stephanie Khan, 13, 8 kicks, 5 handballs there for the Bombers. All right, let's have a look at the goal scorers. We've got 2 multiple goal scorers on the ground, both coming from the Bombers. And, of course, it's the dangerous Madison Papakis, as I stated at halftime. She's a pretty good player. I tell you what, yeah, hard to stop her. 14 disposals, 10 kicks. She's kicked 2 goals, 1. It's been a great game. Amber Clark there, the other multiple goal scorer there for the Bombers with 2. Stephanie Wales, single for the Bombers. And, of course, the only single goal scorers for the Gold Coast Suns, Jacqueline Dupai and Tara Bohanna. Anna. All right, quick look at the team stats as we always do. Well, it's around about 50 odd, 46 to the Bombers getting on top. As I said, in that third term, they started to stretch their dominance, a little bit of class there. It's a little bit, you know what? It's a little bit hard for the girls because they do play a lot of games in not so many days. So I'm sure there'll be some tired legs out there in this final quarter. Inside 50s, there we go. The Suns picking it up a little bit. 20 for 5 scoring shots. So the Bombers, though, already past their season average. Up to 37 inside 50s. They're getting plenty of chance there for their 9 scoring shots. Both disposal efficiency, though, both on reasonably high percentage there. So that's both pretty good. 68, 66, both nice and clean around the ball. 13, 16 free kicks, 3 extra to the Bombers. The hit-outs, the Gold Coast Suns definitely dominating in the hit-outs, but not going to advantage. As you can see, the clearances, the Bombers by 1, centre clearances, Bomber by 1, and the stoppage clearances all tied up. Contested possession, not much in it there, but the uncontested, Essendon just controlling the ball, 126-89. As you can see in the marks as well, 19 extra to the Bombers just with that control. Marks inside 50, 9-3. Giving Essendon good opportunity. There we go. Tackle count, 34-26. Not a great deal. Still pretty low tackle count in retrospect to both their teams' average of 63-72. Tackles inside 50. Well, surprisingly, they're down a little bit also, 4 and 5. But there we go. All right, we're going to take you back down to the game. There you go. It's the Bombers by 19 points. Come on, the Suns, says 15-20. Tell you what, let's hope they can kick the first couple, make this a really, really interesting game. Because it's been a fantastic game so far. All right, folks, let's head back down to the ground for the final quarter.
Thank you, guys. Natalie, crucial last quarter. How are the team feeling?
Yeah, listen, they're really buoyed by the work they've been doing the first 3. I think we're seeing really united team effort and working to our system. So they've got some confidence and belief coming into this fourth, but it's going to take, Gold Coast are going to come out with a lot of pressure, so it's going to take a lot of hard work.
Do we have is it disappointing news about Amber Clark? Is she coming back on?
No, just got news that Amber's done for the day. Not 100% across that, but yeah, disappointing for Amber. But really got a lot of confidence in our ability to run this game out.
Thank you so much for your time and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks to Natalie Wood with Courtney. So Amber Clark was concussed in the opening match of the season. Wait for confirmation if it's got anything to do with that, as Bella looks to generate something from the initial contest. Spits free for Keeney, who would love to sing the song against her former team. Bannister against Gervin. The kick is wide. Tumbling. Clayton outpointed G in the Battle of the Georges. Prespakis left it for G. Clayton after her. Mora sees it across the line. So nothing to lose for the Suns. It's a free swing. What do they do, Lib?
Absolutely not. Well, yeah, the Suns, what they need to do is to make sure they're not bombing it long. In that quarter, in the third term, Essendon were able to peel off. Their defenders were able to get 3 or 4 or 5 intercept marks easily. So what they need to do is have more composure with the footy, hit up the shorts and then go long.
Row bottom. Cleave it, but they cough it up. Prespakis waits, finds Kane. And ball eventually gets to Adams. Taken in a Lynch tackle. Katie Lynch, of course, been managing a bit of Achilles and calf soreness across the past couple of seasons. Prespakis somehow funnels it out for G to Nanscorn. Just got the kick away in time. As a result, over the head of the Bannister contest, McLaughlin, like trying to pick up a cake of soap, got it in the end. And Lynch, with Bannister slipping over. Gervin, in fact, could take her time, and here's Darcy on the lead. Wants a short option, will get it via Alamora. The Suns need to get moving. Wales down the line impacted the Dupay mark attempts. Membry managed to tackle Gay, who got it out though. Wide kick from Morecambe. Good defensive efforts from the Suns early in this term. Clara Fitzpatrick, who we had real fears for just prior to quarter time when she had an awkward landing, has thankfully been able to play out pretty much the entire game bar those first few minutes of the second. Bonnie Toogood on screen, her first match back from the MCL sustained in the round 1 loss to Fremantle. Had 4 possessions so far. Nan Scorn has a game high 23. Prespakis, Wales, quick hand to foot was clever. Bounce, will get past most of them, but not Wilson, who waits for something to unfold. Wanted Darcy, the opposing 20, and Kane got in the way. And then another free kick given away by the Suns for being second to the ball. It was that lingering tackle on Gamble from Wilson.
Nan Scorn has been one of the best off field today for the Dons. She's just had so much time and space around stoppage, but what I've really loved is her efficiency by foot. She's been able to hit up forward targets, but then create some linkage for the Dons as well.
Easy option from Gamble to Kane. Through the hands of Bannister. Here comes Gamble for a second look to the clever G. Decides handball's the way. Off to Bannister. Her kick smothered. Then pushed after the fact by Darcy. Daria Bannister with 11 possessions and a behind. Having come into the game, having kicked 7 matches in the Bombers' previous 6 games. Essendon with a Friday night date against the Bulldogs at Mission Winton Oval to come. The Suns look up and have the informed Brisbane Lions in the Q Clash at Springfield next weekend. Single numbers with the Bombers, as they've been pretty much all day. They've had the right defensive structure and shape, and so often Nan Scorn's been the connecting piece. Lynch down to it eventually. Alexander, solid tackle from Bannister on Keevan.
That big kick hasn't worked for the Suns all day. As you just spoke about, Nigel, their defensive setup has been far too great.
Wales with a tap, Rowbottom, eventually brought to ground, ball comes out, Rowbottom looks hurt as well. McLaughlin with some dash and run and encouragement from Mora, will decide to kick. It comes wide, that's well used. Now Barwick looked to overstep the mark. It works okay enough to find Dupay, who's got an option to her right. Instead, heads a little bit deeper, and Jordan Membry marks and simply must kick this goal to give the Suns any chance.
McLaughlin, what a powerhouse she is, running from half back there, almost to the front of the square. Brilliant there, and then just the ability to run at speed and hit a kick, and then unlucky with the play on call, but managed to hit Dupay. Brilliant from the Suns there.
18-4 in 39 AFLW games for Membry. Quite the sharpshooter. Jordan Membry would have close to the best conversion rate of any player who's played either close to 40 games or kicked close to 20 goals in their AFLW career. Can Membry, Berhana and Dupay provide them a winning score? Margin back to 13 after the Membry goal. Courtney, an update on Amber Clark's condition.
Yes, thank you, Nigel. I do have an update on Amber Clark. So it's the left knee, and injury-wise at the moment, she's going to be having some scans straight away through the week as soon as she gets back home. So that's all the info I've got at the moment.
Thanks, Courtney.
Nigel, funnily enough, that was the exact action that I did by MCL on that twisting of the tackle. So hopefully it's not bad news for Amber Clark there, but that twisting and that left knee getting stuck under the tackle may have some strain to the MCL.
The knee brace that was Bonnie Toogood's unfortunately becomes Amber Clark's. Single, toes it to Lynch, who heads back to Lucy. There's a bit of verve and dash about the Suns all of a sudden. Fullerton v Keeney. Fullerton to ground. Now Keeney has to be careful not to drag it in. Desperation from Single. Barwick wants the free.
Oh, unlucky there for the Suns. I thought that was the Dons dragging that under.
Best Keeney with 12 possessions, 4 inside 50s against her former club. Bella, only as far as Walker. Elects to kick. Oliver's the first there. Got through the hands of Gamble. Not Wilson. Heads back to Oliver. Left it. Oh, high shot from Gamble on Brent Catasano. There's an air about the Suns. Can they get another one quickly? Stanton heading for Fullerton. Pushed out of her by Bush. Fullerton with the tackle.
You can see the Suns just trying to create a bit of chaos with the footy, some knock-ons, some kicks off the ground, just to create a little bit of uncertainty for the Dons.
And the Suns clearly a little bit more used to these conditions. Hot, humid, temperature in the 30s. And the Bombers playing their 4th match of a fortnight stretch. Pressparkas, Oliver looks to intercept, gets it back from Brad Catasano. Too far for Japay. Next lead coming was Bahana against Gaylor, who's up to the task in the one-on-one against the more experienced Sun.
You mentioned the Suns having the ability to play through the heat. Well, they've got to use that to their advantage, being able to kick to grass as they just did to Tara Bahana, create that leg speed that maybe the Bombers don't have late in this 4th term.
And the Bombers without an injured Amber Clark and Bonnie Toogood playing just her 2nd match of the season after making a lightning fast return from the knee injury. Single was caravanning on Pressparkas there. That allowed Brooke Walker to pivot this kick centrally. Toogood came to meet it. Fitzpatrick staying off the back of the contest, but Kiewit can't get it out. There's a bit happening off ball between Stanton and Gay. Wales knocked it away from Bella, but Lynch was on the outside, as is Fullerton. Quick to kick when she perhaps could have run, the young Sun. Stanton leaves it for Barwick. Back to Japay. This would be big. Oh, it's big, all right. Game on at People's First Stadium, and we're back to where we were when Amber Clark kicked that goal at the 13-minute mark of the 3rd. That took the margin from 7 to 13. It quickly bungeed out to 19 after Steph Wales' goal 2 minutes later. Membry at the 6-minute mark, Dupay at the 9-minute mark. It's back to 7. The Suns have got belief.
Well, it's game on. The Suns are back in this, and it's chaos that's working out a stoppage. A quick kick that's creating havoc for the Dons' defence, and then Dupay, what a finish. The follow-up all the way from the middle of the ground, just brilliant. And this game is absolutely on here at People First Stadium.
So the Suns haven't won a match since beating the Bombers in the final home and away game of the season last year at Great Barrier Reef Arena in Mackay. They, of course, dropped the elimination final to the Swans here at Carrara. They're seeking their first win of the year, and they are coming home with the wettest of sails. Brand Catasano's kick went in and now out of 50. Georgia Clark scoops it up. Fullerton. At the moment, there's more numbers around the Sharon for the home team. To meet it, Scott. Inboard for Walker. Over the top. Unnecessary. Story of the day for the Suns. Darcy with the infringement.
Shame about that clearance there. They had a really, really clean kick inside 50, but just a shank off the side of the boot. And now you let the Dons take control of the match.
The Suns have had 52 of their 60 interchange rotations. The Bombers have got 10 left, and they might need every single one of them. They'll try and eradicate a minute or two off the clock here. Amy Gaylor had a good game in her 7th AFLW outing. They find a mark, exactly what they needed through Kane. 16 possessions and 5 marks. Oliver, much like Gaylor, has looked very at home. Just her 2nd AFLW match. Pulled off the line. That kick will allow Keeney in. Mark to Clayton. Cues the lead. Time to go. 2 down the line. Got through the hands of Alamora. And seen out by Morecambe. The Suns fans believe, do those on the field with the responsibility. Amber Clark and Maddie Pressparkers with 2 goals apiece. Jackie Dupay's got 2 for the Suns. Right now, Essendon find themselves inside the AFLW top 8. Kane, an important couple of minutes. Scott deals with Oliver, looks up and sees Bannister tracking back to goal.
A brilliant kick there to Paige Scott. That was a definite mismatch on Oliver. Just the wrong size, the wrong matchup. And then Paige Scott, that's a brilliant off-the-line kick.
Steph Kane having monster influence late in this game. 5 last quarter possessions. Equal high with Maddie Pressparkers for the most on the ground. Daria Bannister, an earlier behind from a tight angle. This is the easy one. Ball back in hand. Effectively a 2-kick game.
It is. If the Suns can opt for corridor usage here, I'd be brave with this kick. They need to win this game for their belief and the hope in their system. They need to finish the year off strongly.
Lynch. Wide enough for Darcy. Rowbottom couldn't take the mark. Will then turn pursuant on Walker. Quick kick under pressure from Bush. Found a target in Alexander. 1-on-ones inside 50. Alexander with the dancing shoes on into the leading lane. Bannister! Oh, that's outstanding in the circumstances.
That's a brilliant kick to the advantage of Bannister, but that is a terrific mark. Look at that, eyes on the footy the whole way.
Harder than the one before, but she had a harder one prior to that. About 4 or 5 steps to her right. 3rd time is not the charm for Daria Bannister. And the Suns get another look. You'd like to see the kick out head out of side here, wouldn't you?
Well, they've got 4 minutes left, so you need to either go open side or straight down the middle. And here it is.
Time to risk losing for the hope of winning. Oliver does just that to Gervin. Some longer targets. Gervin heads for Dupay, who's got a couple to beat. At least created the soft drop, but that was advantage Bombers initially. Rowbottom gets a gift. Hands it off, but to the feet of Darcy. Against Pressparkers, who creates the stoppage.
A good stoppage here. Forward to centre for the Suns. They need to get some run and carry. Kick it straight through the corridor.
Rowbottom trying to get on the move. Pressparkers desperate. Darcy low down on the left. It skids to Dupay. And Mora locks it up. Maddie Gay with 15 touches for the Bombers. 1-on-ones ahead of the ball, and you can see a spare behind for Essendon as Wales was very protective with the tap. Pressparkers dragged down, holds it in, Rowbottom over the top of her.
You can see Rowbottom trying to get active at the stoppage, and as you said, Nigel, that spare coming from the wing or even a forward coming down.
Suns have now equalised in front of the ball. Darcy, terrific stoppage win, flicks off hands, Bahana keeps it alive. Gervin coming down from defence. Membry, the tackle on Radford will at least stop things. 2.5 minutes to play. Essendon pack the stoppage. The Suns come with them. Nan's gone. Wide out. Tumbling, meandering towards the line. Fitzpatrick kept it in. Keeney got a hand in. Bannister.
You can see Bannister's worked all the way from the forward line up to that back 50 there to help the Dons protect that D50.
Keeney on the defensive side for the Bombers. An important hand in there from Brandt Catasano. Adams tackled by Bella. Got it out to Pressparkis. Handball wide. An important win for the Bombers. Gay, Bannister, Nanscorn. There's nothing ahead of Oliver VG. Terrific win by Taya Oliver. What a game she's had in her second match on Girvan, flying ahead of the ball. The Suns have still got time. They need composure and a mark. Keeney brought down by Dupay's contest, and we've got 80 seconds left.
Well, they've certainly had a crack, the Suns, and they're still having a crack. They've got a sniff inside 50 here. A quick clearance and goal needed.
Darcy now stood by Walker. It nearly came to Brandt Catasano. Pressparkis back with a flight, Girvan. And now it's the Bombers' ball, and Too Good will just take grass. Player back for the Suns is Wilson. With a minute left now. Stanton. Can she get creative? Flips it to Bohanna, who needs to find her mirror image inside 50. Wales is there for the Dons. Stanton following the play. Skipped it into the hands of Pressparkis, who's doing all the right things. Bohanna, it's got to come back in. Fumbly, tired, fatigued, as is Too Good, who clatters into Wilson. Well done, Essendon. They're doing just enough.
Brilliant defence from Essendon just to get it forward. Territory kick, almost like you're playing in wet weather. Try and keep it in tight, skinny side of the ground. They've been doing a great job.
Wales to Nanscorn, possession 28. McLaughlin, terrific defensively and trying to create something with her run today. She has it wide for single, and Georgia Clark has had an afternoon. 17 possessions, 9 marks, and 4 inside 50s has been their play to connect back and forward. Bottom with a late touch. Walker to Adams. Singles tried her best. It's a hard-earned thirst for the Bombers, and it's quenched with a spot in the AFLW top 8. They beat the Suns by 9. An entertaining afternoon at People's First Stadium for the north of 1,300 who've turned up and enjoyed the shade, while two teams have gone at it in the blazing hot Queensland sun. 44 inside 50s to 26 perhaps. The tail of the tape in the end for the Bombers, who led by 7 at quarter time, 2 at the half, 19 at three-quarter time after that decisive break where they kicked 3 unanswered goals after half-time. Final quarter went the way of the Suns. They kicked 2 goals to the Bombers, 2 behinds. They tried their best, the Gold Coast Suns, but it's kind of been the story of their season. A draw against the Giants, a 1-point loss to the Blues, a 3-point loss to the Pies, and they ran the Hawks to 13 points on Wednesday night. Again, they're close but not quite good enough. And Essendon will head for Coolangatta Airport with a place in the AFLW top 8 at the end of week 6. Courtney Hancock's amongst the winning Bombers.
Yes, I am down here with the winners, Maddie and Georgia. Wow, what a game. Obviously in the heat we were just talking about before, but exciting news, you're now on the inside, top 8.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It was going to be a hard job to sort of capitalise the tot up here, but we took away that factor and both teams are playing in it. But yeah, really proud of the girls. I thought we fought really hard all day and the scoreboard showed it too.
It's been a tough week, obviously playing on Wednesday. Did you feel the pressure coming into this, knowing that there's not too many more chances to bank those wins to get inside the 8?
Look, as the cliche as it is, I think we just take it each game. You know, the condensed fixture throws up its challenges, but we're super proud of, you know, not only the players, but the whole staffing group to get us as best prepared as possible to back up the games. And yeah, credit to everyone. We've put ourselves in a really good position going forward.
Well, congratulations, a brilliant game. Short turnaround, you're on next week. We wish you all the best the rest of the season.
Thank you.
50 touches between Georgia Nanscott and Maddie Pressparkers this afternoon. Two of the key pillars behind Essendon's 9-point win. We hear the Dons sing the song after this.
All right, there we go. There we go, folks. It was the Bombers taking victory today, 5-6-36, defeating the Gold Coast Suns, 4-3-27. Tell you what, the Gold Coast Suns, they gave it a good crack, kicking 2 goals in the final quarter to the Bombers' 2 points. It did look like it was game on when the Suns kicked those couple of quick goals. But, yeah, the Bombers, their defensive work in the last few minutes of the game, it held on enough for them to get victory, and of course that sees them into the top 8 now, and a lot of happy girls out there, although tied in the heat. I think they said it was around about 32 degrees or something up there playing this game, which is always tough work playing AFL football in heat such as that, because it's normally just a winter sport. All right, just looking through the player stats, we had a little bit of a look. Finishing off with the team stats. There we go. All right. I don't think this is updated yet. No, it's not updated. Let me just have a look at let me try and reload that. It's not updated yet because Essendon will go to 16 points. I think that'll make them go up into 7th position now on the ladder. The ladder just hasn't updated yet. Gold Coast still on the bottom. Tell you what, they're probably the best bottom side that I've seen because they actually play some pretty good football. They've just been a little bit unlucky not to win a game or 2. Freo need a win. On my way to the Freo game today. Oh, that'll be good. Addy G, that will be good. Where are you sitting on the ladder? You're sitting 7th on the ladder because Essendon will have jumped up. Where are they? Essendon, 16 points. They've jumped up now into... Oh, no, you're still 6th. They've jumped up into 7th. So Fremantle are still 6th. Fremantle looking to jump up into 3rd spot today. I tell you what, and Hawthorn sitting there in 4th spot also. They're looking to jump up into 2nd. Tell you what, that's going to be a great game. That's going to be a great game today. I've got to pop out for now, but if I am back, we'll definitely cover that game. It should be a good game, that one. I think both teams in pretty good form. Should be good weather over there, sunny, hopefully a good day for football. Of course, the Fremantle Hawthorn game comes up at 5:05 Melbourne time. I think that's 2:05 Perth time because we're now an hour extra ahead. There we go. Should be good. All right, folks. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, 15. Swinny, you tipped the Bombers by 15, but yeah, they got the job done by 9. Just got over the line today in this hot weather, which they're probably not used to. The Gold Coast Suns are definitely used to the hot weather. But that's all I've got for this one. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. The poll got it nearly right today. 52% said the Gold Coast Suns. So the other 47%. Now, well done to you because you tipped the Bombers today to get up in this game. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. I may be back for the Fremantle Hawthorn game. We'll just see. But have a good time over there, Addy G. You never know. Addy G might even go live over there a little bit, live from the ground. That'll be pretty good. see how it goes. But enjoy the game over there. Enjoy your pie. Sit back, relax with a pie and a Coke or something. Don't forget, take your hat, find some shade, get down there. Let us know if we're live at EG and you're not live. Let us know where you're sitting. Give us a wave and we might be able to see you out there watching you on KO. All right, let's get down to the song.
Win the premiership flag. Our girls who play this red game are always striving for glory and fame. See the borders fly up, up. The other teams that don't fear. They all try their best, but they can't get in as the borders fly up. Woo!
A win for Bess Keeney against her former team. The third single-digit loss for the Suns this season. The third straight win for the Bombers. Nigel Carmody and Libby Birch wrapping up Essendon's 9-point victory that puts them into the final 8 at the end of week 6, Lib. Their run home, the Dogs Friday night at Mission Win Oval, North at a fortnight at Windy Hill, the Dreamtime game against Richmond, and then Carlton in the final round at Icon Park. They start favourite in 2 of those games. If they win those 2, is 6 wins.
To their game plan again, and they were brilliant today against the Suns. Would have liked a little bit more efficiency inside 50, but brilliant.
Nice job from you this afternoon, especially on the back up from a wet, windy victory over the Bulldogs yesterday. The Suns with a Q clash to come, then Sydney, Port and North in search of their first win of the season. Big thank you to Courtney Hancox for her work on the boundary this afternoon. Essendon find themselves in the AFLW top 8 at the end of week 6. They defeat the Gold Coast Suns 5-6-36 to 4-3-27.
All right, folks, that's it. That is a wrap for this game. As I said, thanks all for coming in. Enjoy your day, enjoy your Sunday, everybody. We'll try and get back to do the Freo Hawthorn game and, of course, the Melbourne Storm Panthers game later on, the NRL Grand Final in the rugby. Should be a ripper. Go Storm in that one. All right, folks, enjoy. Thanks all for coming in. That's a wrap for me. Till next time, ciao for now. We'll see you in the next game.